You're feeling anxious about finally taking that leap. Maybe you're about to finally resign from that job that you realize is not quite aligned. Maybe you're about to go for that thing or that role or that opportunity that you're really, 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 really excited about, but you're like, do I have imposter syndrome? Maybe you're like me and you are ready to take the leap and move abroad. Whatever it may be, these things can bring up such big emotions and sometimes can lead to indecision, fatigue, exhaustion, overwhelm, feeling paralyzed and like, what do I do next? You journal, you do your breathing exercises, you talk it out, but you still feel those really big emotions to the point of making that transition really difficult. Yeah, because you need to do more than just talk and write. You need to move those emotions. I am so excited about today's video because I am going to share with you some movement activities that I did to intentionally help me move through the big emotions and the impacts that they had on me while I was navigating my decision to move abroad in under 3 months. Let's get into it. Let's get into this. Hi, I am Jaylyn. I am the dancing therapist and the passion coach, and welcome to my YouTube channel. It's real cute over here, right? It's cute. It's cute. So while you're here, please subscribe, please like, and please make sure you share, especially if you enjoyed today's content, so that all of us can get into these amazing movement hacks that I'm about to offer you today. Disclaimer: yes, I am a licensed therapist. However, I am not your licensed therapist. So please understand that nothing I'm saying here is meant to be therapy, replace therapy, or replace a relationship with a licensed mental health professional. Before I share with you my movement activities that I did that were so essential and monumental in helping me move through the process of making that huge decision to move abroad for, I don't know how long I'm about to be outside, but I'm outside, okay? I first want to bust some myths that come up very often as it pertains to mental health, as it pertains to the body, and as it pertains to dance. Myth number 1, feelings are in our mind. How many times have we heard when you're having a big feeling, a big emotion, a big experience, it's mind over matter, or I just gotta get my mind right, or I just gotta gather my thoughts, right? We hear this all the time, that our feeling experiences are from here and up, and that's it. Newsflash, emotions are embodied experiences. If we didn't have bodies, we wouldn't know what we're feeling. They're not thoughts or ideas or concepts floating around in our head. Even though oftentimes our emotions can impact the narratives that we have in our head, and they of course can shape our perspectives and how we relate to our environment around us, but they are felt experiences. If I ask you right now, the last time you were angry, what did you notice about yourself? Probably a lot of the things that you're going to describe are embodied experience. Your palms got sweaty, you felt your heart rate increase, you felt the blood coursing to your face or to other parts of your body. Maybe you felt your muscles tense up and you felt a huge rush of energy flow through your body. Notice these are embodied experience. And yes, you may also have the cognitive experiences of what you're angry about and different thoughts that you're having in your head that you kept in there and didn't let come out your mouth, because then you're gonna have a whole lot of stuff to apologize for, okay? But our emotions are also felt in our bodies. That is where we feel them first. So yes, myth number 1, our emotions are not just in our mind. Our emotions are embodied experiences. And because they're embodied experiences, using movement to support, to address, to explore, to be curious about, and to allow them to flow to completion is so powerful. And that's why I'm so excited about today's video. Myth number 2, dance is just that fun, silly thing that we do for entertainment. And that's, sure, it can get our blood moving and there can be some like workout aspects to it, but really at the end of the day, dance is just fun, silly stuff that we do for entertainment purposes. Yes, that can be a part of it. But did you know that dance historically has been used to help us prepare for a wide plethora of things? And especially in the African diaspora, and for those of us that are African descended, our dances have played a vital role, not just in us preserving our culture, but in transmitting wisdom throughout the generations and preparing for rebellions, preparing for wars, as rites of passages, as honoring and preserving who we are culturally and identity-wise, and allowing us to be resilient and to persevere through the hardest of times. Our dances were imperative to that. And to this day, they still stand to be that role in our lives if we allow it to be. So when we look at our dances and our movement, yes, they can be super fun. Yes, they can be a great workout. And yes, sometimes they can make us chuckle and when they're silly. Like what is that dance? I cannot believe I just did that dance. That dance, what is it? And so I really want to stress that yes, there's this aspect, but there is so much more to what our dances are when we really dig into the history of how they developed and the role they have played in our lives and our communities and our collectives for centuries. Myth number 3, and our final myth, dance and therapy are 2 separate things. I mean, first of all, if that was the case, my whole profession wouldn't exist because I am a dance and movement psychotherapist. Thank goodness they exist together, and thank goodness that is a myth. Thankfully, the mental health space is now really embracing the fact that our emotions are felt in our body, that trauma can live in our body, that our resilient attributes lives in our body. And so now there is a much larger embracing of using movement and using somatic work in the therapeutic space. And that is so exciting to finally see because it's something that we as African descended people have known and have incorporated into our daily living for generations. For thousands of years, we've understood that. So it's really exciting to see this being embraced on a larger scale, especially in the mental health space. Movement is so powerful, and I cannot think of a more powerful way other than dance to address these big emotions that come up when we are navigating big decisions, big choices, difficult times, but moving ourselves closer to living our life with our passion and the first and foremost of it. Now that we have a really strong base about how powerful movement is and the immense amount of wisdom that is found in our bodies, our movements, that is passed down to us intergenerationally, let's get into some 3 specific movement activities that I did that I found really useful in my process in those 2.5 months of a lot of tension, a lot of stress, a lot of decisions, a lot of uncertainties, and a lot of things that were really terrifying for me to do to help me get through that and to be on the other side of such a big decision. Are you ready? Okay, now I'm going to explain them, but I'm also going to invite you, if it feels safe, if it feels accessible, if it feels right to your body, so please listen to your body first, to do them with me. These movement activities are not meant to be therapy or replacement for therapy, right? You can only do that in a specific relationship with a mental health professional. But these movement activities can be therapeutic, and they can be helpful tools that you can use in your day-to-day life. But it's different for every person. So if it doesn't feel good, put it down. I am just offering to you things that I have found helpful for my personal life. First, movement. I love to do activities that are now classified as bilateral stimulation. Now, if you've ever heard of the modality of EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, it is a modality that is very powerful in the therapy space, used to help reprocess very charged experiences and memories and to help address traumatic events and experiences. One of the things that EMDR uses to help with that process is called BLS. That's the acronym, which stands for bilateral stimulation. And what that means is that you are able to do either audio activation, sensory activation, or movements that activate the right and left side of your brain in alternating patterns, back and forth, back and forth. And what they have found is that that pattern is very helpful in helping your nervous system regulate and to slowly bring down the level of activation associated with various memories, experiences that are coming up in the therapy space. So that's specific for therapy. However, all of this was kind of birthed out of the understanding that the person who founded it was walking and realized that the walking was having this bilateral stimulation to her brain. And the impacts that that was having on her overall emotional state and her well-being and helping regulate her nervous system led to increased studies around this bilateral stimulation concept. One of my favorite ways to do this is with something that is called butterfly taps. And how we do this is we link our thumbs together like this, like a beautiful butterfly. And we can bring it to our chest, just underneath our collarbone. Gently rest your palms on your chest. And you're gonna go the rhythm of a nice, gentle, slow, and steady heartbeat. So with this BLS movement, I like to keep it nice and slow so that it really gives a soothing aspect to the nervous system. So the taps are nice and firm, and they alternate from the right to the left side of the body. One of my favorite soothing activities to do with this is to also incorporate this with a breathing exercise. There's so many different soothing breathing exercises out there, and I really do think that there's so much tailoring that you can do with the breathing exercises based on what your needs are. For me, when I'm feeling on edge or I'm feeling really anxious or nervous about something, or like I'm feeling like really worked up about something, I like to do an extended exhale breathing exercise. And the counts that I use for my inhale versus my exhale varies depending on how activated I'm feeling. But as long as the exhale is longer than the inhale, I find for me that that is really soothing, especially when I pair it with my butterfly taps. So it might sound something like inhale for 1 and exhale for 3. If you want to try it with me, you can and see what it feels like. So I would go inhale 1, exhale 1, 2, 3. Again, inhale 1, exhale 1, 2, 3. Last time, inhale 1, exhale 1, 2, 3. Y'all, I'm ready to go to bed, but I can't because there's more I want to share with you. How did that feel for you? I would really love to know how that felt for you. If that felt like it brought your nervous system and the feelings in your body to a place of relaxation, of calmness, of rest. I would love to know what that felt like for you. So please feel free to put all that in the comment section for that feedback. All right, so that's BLS with the butterfly taps. Now, what I love about bilateral stimulation is that we can find that so much in our everyday life, and we can use that trick when we understand that we're activating the right and left side of our brain in alternating patterns, really anywhere. So what I really appreciate about this little movement hack is that I can use it in so many spaces without people being like, is she okay? So yes, butterfly taps is a little more visible. If I'm in public, people are gonna notice I'm doing something, right? But you can also just bring it to your lap and alternate between the right and left sides. And if I wanna make it a little bigger, I can add like a tap with my heels so that I'm really getting that movement anchored into my body and really getting that activation. Now, let's say I'm sitting at a meeting, right? I probably wouldn't do it this big. I would do it smaller, but it's subtle enough that I would be able to access this bilateral stimulation via movement in most settings without it drawing a lot of attention to myself. Now, I am super extra. I embrace that about myself. And while, I don't know, maybe 40% of the time I wouldn't bust out in dance movement in a meeting, and yes, it is that low, only 40% of the time I would not bust out in dance movements in a meeting. The other parts of it is we can also find the bilateral stimulation in dance movements. So if you are at home, or if you're in a space by yourself, or if you're with friends or in a space where you feel like this is accessible to you, for me, it would literally be anywhere. Grocery store, sidewalk, subway, it don't matter. I will bust out. I love 90s hip hop party dances, like New Jack Swing. That is my genre. That is one of my favorite genres of music ever in lifetime. And if you take me to a house party and you're bumping that, trust and believe these next two movements, they gonna have it, all right? So the first movement I'm gonna teach you is the bounce. And I like the bounce, especially for bilateral stimulation as a dance movement, because it incorporates the shoulders. And I don't know about you, but I have a lot of tension in my shoulders on a regular basis. So I love the bounce for this. I'm getting the bilateral stimulation to help to bring my body back to a state of soothing and regulated and grounded. And I'm getting my shoulders involved, so I'm able to release some of that tension and that stuck energy. So the shoulders are just coming here, yeah? So this is up and down. They're not alternating. You could alternate the bounce, but we're not going to do the advanced version right now. We're going to do the up and down. Yes? Great. So then my hands, kind of nice little fists, they're in front of me, and they're gonna go home, 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 home. Then we're gonna have the shoulders, ha, 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 to the side, alternating. Oh, bilateral stimulation, bilateral stimulation. Hey, cat, 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 take it back up, take it down, take it back go. Now, for copyright reasons, I can't bump some of my favorite New Jack Swing songs right now, but just imagine Boyz II Men was playing real hard in my head while I was doing that, okay? This one is called The Prep. So I'm gonna do the prep up and up because I'm sitting right now. My hands are gonna go here and here and here and here. So there is a lot of right and left alternating going on here. I have my hands that are alternating here, right? I have it alternating across the side of my body. And then when you really get into it, you have this little neck isolation that's happening there. And if you're not used to this neck isolation, all you're feeling are these muscles on the side of your neck pulling your head side to side. And you can play with it for a while because they are smaller muscles that take a moment to find. But once you find them, you're gonna be talking like this everywhere you go. Okay, at least that's what I do. I don't know, maybe you won't, but I definitely do. So all together, the prep looks like here and here, to the side and side. Wait a minute, oh. I missed one. Even the shoulders are in this party. They're going switch, 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 switch. We got 3 places of that alternating happening for that ultimate bilateral stimulation. We got them in the shoulders, we got them in the hands, we got them in the neck. Y'all, this step right here, the prep, is gonna prep us to make those big moves for, that was corny, I'm sorry. We have 1 and 2, get it, and prep. And prep, prep it, prep it, prep it, prep it, prep it, ooh, prep it. Hey, how did it feel? How did that feel for you? I know it's a lot of like coordination going on with the prep. And if any one of those feels like it's too much, you can literally just take it here and here. And then if you're like, I want a little more sauce, then you can just have the neck. You can even just have the shoulders and the neck. You ain't even gotta have the hands with it. Right? And we're still getting that vibe and we're still getting that bilateral stimulation. So these are some fun movement hacks and I would love for you to play with how many different movements do you already do right now that helps and supports that bilateral stimulation. So we already talked about walking. If you're a person who likes to run, you got that in there too, right? That right, left, you got it in the arms, you got it in the legs, right? So you're getting that ultimate bilateral stimulation. What other ways are you getting that in your everyday life? What about your favorite dance moves? Do you have any that has that in there already? All right, if you do, write them down. Keep a record so that you can come back to them. So if you're feeling activated and you're feeling things build up, you can intentionally call in these movements to help you feel more regulated. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I love it. The second movement hack that I intentionally use during this process is shaking. Ugh, y'all, shaking is a game changer. All right. Have you ever seen a person, or like maybe you've experienced this, because I do this sometimes, where I'm feeling like a lot of big feels and then I'll notice my leg is like shaking and I'm like, why is my leg shaking? It's just shaking uncontrollably. Like, what's happening, right? Yeah, shaking is an excellent way to discharge extra energy and to help bring you back down to a more regulated state. For instance, after you experience something that was really scary, let's say, it's Halloween and, you're walking down the block and then someone thought it'd be real cute to dress up in a scary costume and jump out of the dark and be like, ah, and you're like, ah, right? Well, okay, that's what my scream I would sound like that. After that experience, you're probably gonna notice you're kind of shaking a little bit. That is your body's natural way of discharging that extra energy after you've come out of a place of being in danger or being super alert for danger. So if you're able to intentionally use shaking to help your body come back down, it's gonna help you move to a place of being grounded enough to make those decisions, to do those planning things that you gotta do for that big thing that you're working on, and to get you to that goal quicker. So what I would love for you to do is to think of the last time you were like slightly annoyed. Please don't think of anything that's like super activating or super stressful or super hard. I don't want any of that for us. Yeah, not today, not here, not in this space. In this space, we're just trying to feel good. So just like slightly annoying. What's mine gonna be? Oh, don't laugh at me. I'm gonna put in the category of slightly annoying. It might be more than slightly annoying, but for me, slightly annoying. I really wanted this specific brand of chocolate and the store ran out. Were there other chocolates? Yes. Did I get a different type of chocolate? Yes. Was my chocolate desire met? It was. But I wanted this one specific kind that had 43% cacao, and it was a mixture of dark chocolate and milk chocolate, and they ran out of it, and I had my heart set on it. That's my thing. All right. I don't know what yours is, but that's mine. Don't judge me. So you can't judge yourself either. So I want you to think of that slightly annoying thing. Me walking into the store, the anticipation, the hope, the excitement, and then seeing it on the shelf and there was nothing there. It was empty. Okay. Notice what changes you feel in your body when you think of that slightly. If you're feeling a really big activation, put that away. Find something else. A slightly annoying thing, what you notice in your body when you think about it. For me, I feel like a anticipation and like anticipating the excitement, and then I feel like almost like a stuck in my shoulders because I didn't get the like the thing that I was hoping for was there. Okay, so my shoulders are like here, they just stopped, like, and then they just kind of stop here. Okay, what do you notice in your body? Notice where it is that you feel it in your body. Maybe there's a few places that you feel it in your body, but just pick one for now. That's gonna be the thing that we're gonna shake, all right? And what I love to do with all of these movement hacks, especially if I'm feeling like, oh, it's feeling really hard to start moving my body, I'll be like, all right, let me set a timer for 60 seconds, that's it. And I'm gonna engage in this movement hack for 60 seconds and then I'll reevaluate how I'm feeling, all right? So for this activity, because we're in this format, I'm just gonna give us a cute 10 seconds of trying out the shake for that part of the body, all right? For me, it's my shoulders. Maybe for you, you felt your hands get tense. Maybe it's your jaw got tense. Maybe it's you felt your legs kind of tense up, all right? So that's gonna be the part of the body that you're gonna shake. Now, please shake only in a range of motion and at a momentum and with a level of force that feels safe for your body. I know in some places it's cold right now, so the body takes a little bit more to warm up. Be very safe and be very gentle with your joints, please. Yes? Okay, so keep that in mind. The speed of which you shake, the force of which you shake, that is up to you, but listen to your body. So for me, I'm gonna shake my shoulders for 10 seconds. Let's try it. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let it go. Let everything release and relax. And just take a moment to focus inward and notice, how does your body feel after that? Notice any new sensations. Notice that part of the body that you shook, if anything shifted from shaking. My shoulders feel like they dropped like 3 inches back down. And I don't even have my chocolate, and they still dropped. I also feel like a little bit of tingly, so that feels really nice. The tingly is like here, and I feel a little tingly in my shoulders. But yeah, notice how that feels for you. Great. That's movement activity number 2 that I love to do for myself. Now, like I said, I'm pretty like out there with my movement. I don't really care who's watching usually, but sometimes I get embarrassed. So if this is something that, you know, maybe you wouldn't want to do in the middle of a very serious meeting, that might be like #awkward and add for more activation and tension in your body. But if you take like a bathroom break, or if you're about to leave for the day and you're feeling yourself like, oh, I know today is a day that I gotta have that tough conversation, maybe right before you walk out the door, set a timer on your phone or set a timer somewhere just for 30 seconds or a minute and engage in actively shaking the parts of your body that you feel the tension or the activation in. If it feels accessible and if that activity feels like it helped you. Okay, the chair is over there, I'm right here, I'm upright, I'm no longer sitting, yes? Okay, so thing number 3 is to move your hips, yes? The hips, all right? That's why I'm upright right now. Now, I know moving the hips can bring up various things for various people, so I think it's really important to find a way that feels most supportive and grounding for you, and in an environment that feels the most supportive for you, okay? The hips And this area of your body can become very tight and very activated anytime that anything is threatening your sense of like foundational level of safety, your basic needs, anything tied to that. You can get a lot of activation in your hips and base of your spine. So intentionally moving this part of your body can be really helpful, and it's also really fun. So if you need to pretend like Juvenile just came over the radio, or if you want to pretend like your favorite Nova Bounce song just started blasting in the room, or if you need to imagine yourself in Crap Over in Barbados or Carnival in Trinidad, whatever you need to do, I want you to move your hips, all right? For me, I'm gonna keep it in the 90s party scene, and I'm gonna give one of these. Hey, hey, hey. Now, what I would love for you to do, if you feel like it's accessible to you and you're in a place that you can do it, is find one movement with your hips that you feel comfortable doing in the space that you're at, and join me again for just 10 seconds. That's it. 10 seconds. That's it. We're just gonna move our hips for 10 seconds together, okay? You ready? Do you have your movement? Look, any movement of the hips, it's game, all right? So here we go. I got mine. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. We just moved our hips together. Yes, we did. Oh, yes, we did. Between those three things, we had our bilateral stimulation. Yes. We had shaking, and then we had intentionally moving our hips, especially when we understand the things that impact our hips and how that can feel when our sense of safety is impacted. How did that feel for you? I would love to know, of those three things, what really stood out to you as something that was like, yeah, I really feel a big shift, and this is something that I'll use in the future. That's the end of the video for today. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope something in here was really helpful. If it was, again, please make sure you subscribe. I would love for you to come back and us to dance together. Feel free to like, share the video with other folks, and then also in the comment section, let me know what stood out for you, what was helpful, or if there's another movement activity that you really enjoy engaging in to help support your emotional and overall well-being. I would love to know, because I want to expand my own toolkit of movements that I use. All right, everyone, thank you so much for coming and dancing with me. See you in the next one.